I used to get nervous in situations like this for a long, long time, but that nervousness is gone. ABBA is a name that has transcended generations, an iconic band whose history is full of love, drama, and amazing music. Their melodies defined an era, their harmonies captivated millions, and their legacy continues to influence artists around the world. But behind the shiny facade of fame lie secrets, untold stories and moments that have shaped the band's journey in ways many fans had no idea about. Did you know that Benny Andersson is hiding a secret about Agnetha Fältskog? A revelation that could completely change the way we view her ABBA journey? What do you think? Was their relationship purely professional, or was there something more? Enter 1 for yes or 0 for no. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. Now let's go back to the 1970s, a decade in which ABBA dominated the world charts. Her songs, from Dancing Queen to Take My Chance, have become anthems full of joy, love, and heartbreak. With their dazzling outfits, catchy melodies, and mesmerizing vocal harmonies, ABBA was more than just a successful pop group, they were a phenomenon. The essence of the disco era was captured in their music, and their influence extended far beyond the dance floors. But what the world saw on stage was only part of the story. Behind the scenes, the situation was much more complex. The relationships between the members of ABBA were deeply intertwined, full of passion, challenge, and personal sacrifice. For years, fans have been fascinated by the love story of Agnetha and Björn Ulvaeus, but few recognize the emotional undercurrent between Agnetha and Benny, the masterminds behind many of ABBA's timeless hits. Benny, known for his perfectionism, was the driving force behind the band's creative process. While his relationship with Agnetha was not romantic, it was one of the most important professional connections on the team. With a breathtaking voice and undeniable stage presence, Agnetha was the one who brought Benny's musical visions to life. But this dynamic was not without its problems. Benny's high standards and tireless pursuit of perfection put Agnetha under enormous pressure. In recent years, Benny has spoken more openly about these challenges, revealing that Agnetha sometimes found it difficult to keep up with his unrelenting expectations. While the world saw a confident and stunning artist behind closed doors, Agnetha had to deal with the burden of being the voice that carried ABBA's most popular songs. Benny's vision for ABBA was uncompromising. As a composer, he wanted to create music that would last a lifetime. Every chord, harmony, and lyric had to be carefully crafted. Together with Björn, he shaped the sound of ABBA, but it was Agnetha's voice that breathed life into the melodies that millions sing to this day. However, this process was not always easy. There were moments of joy and triumph, but also moments of tension and exhaustion. The pursuit of perfection sometimes clashed with team members' personal struggles. Benny, always striving for perfection, often came into conflict with Agnetha, whose feelings were closely related to the music she played. This silent struggle between artistic vision and personal well-being played a role in shaping ABBA's history, a history that few people truly understood. Even today, decades after reaching their peak, these stories continue to captivate fans. The complexity of ABBA's personal and professional relationships is a testament to the passion that drives their music, and perhaps it is this passion that makes her songs so deeply moving and timeless. What do you think? Was Agnetha's journey with ABBA more difficult than we thought? Let me know what you think in the comments. As Benny revealed in a rare interview, Agnetha was an exceptional professional with great intelligence. However, there were times when I put too much pressure on her. I wanted a lot from her. And he explained in detail how rehearsals continued late into the night, take after take, making sure every note was hit perfectly. Agnetha, who had already experienced the overwhelming effects of fame, found herself in a dilemma, torn between her loyalty to the band and her own boundaries. Agnetha began to have difficulties, while Benny saw these demands as a continuation of his love for ABBA's music. Agnetha, known for her shy and introspective nature, found the constant demands exhausting. She joined ABBA with the intention of making meaningful music and having fun, but the intense pressure of creating hit after hit exhausted her during her time with the band. According to Agnetha, the burden of Benny's perfectionism often clashed with her desire to lead a more balanced life. Agnetha's loved ones remember how stressful her long working hours were, They often expressed their sense of overload and disappointment with Benny's expectations, which seemed difficult to meet. Even as ABBA's popularity grew, this creative conflict became even more intense. Agnetha often felt like she was more of a transmitter of Benny's ideas than a valuable contributor. Despite the creative differences, there were moments when magic really happened. The chemistry between Agnetha and Benny became clear when Agnetha uttered the exact line that Benny had imagined while recording the song The Winner Takes It All, written by Bjorn. Benny's musical direction and Agnetha's heartbreaking performance brought the song to life. It was one of those moments that will remain indelible in your memory. Benny was impressed by the spirit of the song as her voice was so delicate and reflected the spirit of the song beautifully. Diversity in later interviews. Benny admitted that they continued to do so despite the tensions that existed in the background. He said this even though they were suffering an extraordinary event that happens only once in a lifetime. War. Something we were lucky to appreciate. While Agnetha was involved in creating the music, she gave it a level of sophistication that I would never have been able to achieve on my own. Although the 1980s were approaching, the relationship between Benny and Agnetha was further strained by the turmoil of ABBA. Benny's constant search for musical inventions was the driving force behind ABBA's popularity. However, it came at a high price. Even though it was thanks to it that the band achieved success, Agnetha's life became increasingly dissatisfied with the team due to the constant pressure she was under, and she longed for a life outside the spotlight. Benny, on the other hand, just couldn't bear to be slowed down. The fact that he was so deeply immersed in ABBA's music caused him to become emotionally separated from Agnetha, and neither of them had been able to close the gap that had existed between them during their time together. That when I think about those days, I come to the conclusion that maybe I worked too hard because I overworked myself. Even though I wanted everything to be perfect, there were times when I didn't consider the human element of the situation. To do this, Agnetha had to make a sacrifice. And this will be a bit embarrassing for me in the future. These words not only provide insight into Benny, but also show his vulnerability. They provide a unique insight into the grievances that lingered long after ABBA's farewell performance. Due to their sacrifices, Agnetha and Benny separated after the breakup of ABBA. They were both still struggling with the consequences of their actions. Agnetha saw her departure from the band as a chance to regain her identity and free herself from the pressure that dominated her life. Benny, on the other hand, continued on his musical path. But the absence of Agnetha's voice left a gap that his most successful works were never able to fully fill. This pause in the conversation occurred because Agnetha's voice was not available. Several years later, Benny described the experience as bittersweet. When they finally met for a short time to work on a new project together, he was excited about the music they created together, but he also admitted that the past left its mark on both tracks. He was happy that they were making music together. In each interview, Agnetha briefly, and very rarely, alluded to her mixed feelings towards ABBA. She admitted that it was a beautiful experience, but also a challenge. We've had a lot of ups and downs, and dealing with Benny made everything more difficult than it otherwise would have been. We have experienced many ups and downs. Over the years, ABBA's music has attracted new audiences. It connects many generations and has firmly established the band's position as an important figure in the annals of music history. In recent years, there has been speculation about a reunion that would give the four band members Agnetha, Benny, Bjorn and Anna Frid a chance to meet again. The four of them will be reunited, hoping that these two music icons would play together again, even if only for a short time. Fans around the world held their breath. After a long separation, Benny and Agnetha finally reunited during rehearsals, and the feelings they felt were intense. They have been separated for decades and have grown older and wiser as a result. Despite all the pain and lessons they had learned during this time, they were both aware of it, that it wasn't just a fan meeting, but rather a look at their shared history, which they both looked forward to. After a short moment of silence, Benny looked at Agnetha. His face showed a mixture of gratitude and regret at the events that had transpired. "We achieved something no one else has achieved," he told her. "And I will remember this achievement with pride for the rest of my life." Agnetha smiled. Her eyes expressed a mixture of acceptance and melancholy. Both were contained in her expression. It was clear that there was a feeling of healing, and there was a quiet acknowledgement that what they shared went beyond words, explanations, or even forgiveness. It seemed like no time had passed at all, because their voices joined on stage in perfect harmony, where they organized a reunion. Teary-eyed spectators who traveled from around the world watched not only the musical performance, but also a testament to the resilience, forgiveness, and enduring strength of their friendship. At that point, Benny and Agnetha were more than just bandmates. They became icons of a time, an era in which music was perceived as something almost sacred. Something that could overcome both the sadness and the heartache. Each song tells the story of a turbulent relationship. This story was intertwined with the same elements of love, disappointment, and mutual respect. After years of separation, they managed to find common ground, and their journey, courage, and ability to find common ground were shown in songs such as I Still Have Faith in You. Your faith in me hasn't waned. The lyrics managed to capture a level of maturity and thoughtfulness that could only be achieved with time, and went straight to the heart of their shared history. Their journey, Benny and Agnetha's journey, was not yet complete and final. Even after being reunited, throughout their lives, they left their mark on every album, record, and concert they experienced. Although they currently live on different planets, their connection will live on forever in the music they created together. For this reason, their connection will continue. Benny views this relationship with calm determination, recognizing that although her life has changed, Agnetha will still be a part of me. At the same time, she realizes that her life has evolved. Throughout her life, Agnetha has become accustomed to the presence of peace. She still treasures her fondness for songs, memories, and the indelible part of herself that she placed in ABBA's music. She put her heart and soul into it all. During interviews, she rarely talks about previous conflicts or difficulties they have encountered as a group because she does not feel it is appropriate. However, she does it with a gentle smile and a bit of tenderness for a period of life that, despite everything, still has a special place in her heart. When he talks about the time he spent with Benny, Bjorn, and Anna-Frid, he does it with a sweet smile. ABBA's music remains a source of inspiration for fans of all ages who find solace, joy, and a sense of nostalgia in every note of the band's music. Their songs are more than just music for millions of other people. They are time capsules that embody the ups and downs, the magic and melancholy of a time when the world seemed more hopeful with each passing moment. Benny and Agnetha are aware that their story is more than just a story of popularity. Rather, it is a testament to friendship, dedication, and the delicate balance between ambition and sensitivity. They gain this knowledge as they reflect on the years that shaped them. With their music, they manage to overcome national boundaries, create music that touched people all over the world, and transformed individual suffering into a shared experience. Even though Benny and Agnetha are physically separated from each other but remain connected, Benny and Agnetha's story becomes increasingly emotional as their lives unfold. Although it is the result of conflict, it reminds us that music can be both therapeutic and healing. The music composed together is not only a powerful monument to the common longings of two people who, despite everything, dared to reach for the stars, but also an eternal connection, a symbol of something that cannot be broken, and a beautiful tribute to the dreams that connect these two people. Her songs, which explore the complexities of her journey, will resonate for decades. These songs will remind the listener that sometimes the greatest beauty lies not in perfection, but in the truth about human relationships, which are often painful. Benny and Agnetha will always keep this song not only as their own memory, but also as something that will remain unforgettable for the rest of their lives. For Benny and Agnetha, the passage of time has only strengthened the resonance of their particular musical style. Their journey together brought them equal amounts of happiness and pain. Each song became a tribute to this aspect of their journey together. Even though they are far apart, the songs they created together serve as an invisible bridge that connects them in both space and memory. That bridge is broken by the songs they wrote together. Every time an ABBA song comes on the radio, at a concert, or even on a not-so-loud record player, echoes of their story come to life, reminding us of the indelible bond they shared when they were together. Suddenly, it seems that the songs they composed verse by verse suddenly seem prophetic. The songs The Winner Takes It All and SOS are intimate, so fast, as if they were signals to each other that were passed on to the public. These songs tell stories told in songs that have a personal touch. Presenting such lyrics at live concerts can be both cathartic and extremely emotional for Agnetha. It served as a constant reminder of a love that developed over time but never completely disappeared. Benny saw how she poured her heart into every song, reminding him why their bond, both passionate and musical, was amazing. Benny saw how she put her whole heart into every song. When Benny considers the decades that have passed since ABBA's peak in popularity, he concludes that the band's legacy is a bit complicated. In contrast to the happiness they felt in their artistic achievements, the strain in their relationships was a great disappointment. In interviews, he often expresses his joy at the successes he has achieved with Agnetha. However, he also conveys remorse and the awareness that success involves sacrifices that he could not have predicted at the beginning of his celebrity career. He realizes that success involves sacrifices. Agnetha also has a connection with this song and the memories it brings back. Fighting is something he can't deny. Within a few years, she withdrew from public life and finally stepped out of the spotlight. It was as if she needed to separate herself from the world that ABBA had introduced her to. A world that made their love story a spectacle watched around the world. She needed some space. From Agnetha's perspective, the songs recall both the most successful moments in her career and the emotional struggles that accompanied them. Ultimately, Benny and Agnetha's story is one of desire and transformation. Their romantic love may have faded, but the music they created ensured the durability of their relationship. Now it is anchored in the hearts of millions of people. The fact that Benny and Agnetha are together forever in music is a bittersweet reality for him, although life took them on different paths to achieve their goals. And for Agnetha, the realization that her music has gone overboard is perhaps the most important proof of what they have experienced together. Not only hits and fame are remembered, it's much more of a cost of creation story, the sacrifices made behind the scenes and the beauty that can come from fighting and working together. As long as people continue to hear their songs, Benny and Agnetha's journey will be a constant reminder of love, music, and the extraordinary bond between two people who once dreamed of reaching the stars and who were inextricably linked in their pursuit of that ideal. Their music, which endures despite the passage of time, is not only a gift to the world, but also proof of love that defies patterns. It reminds us that even the most complicated stories can leave behind something sacred. Something that will be remembered forever. As long as Mamma Mia and Fernando continue to appear, the story of Benny and Agnetha will continue to be told and remembered down the centuries as a breathtaking and incredible testament to what was and what we will never forget. What do you think about this untold chapter of ABBA's history? Let us know in the comments. Has this story changed your view of the band? Don't forget to like and subscribe to the post for more great insights.